Dr. Livingston, I presume.
Good evening. And now here is a word from our man in the street. Thank you very much, and good evening, and hello again. A lot of people ask me, do I enjoy working for the BBC? I enjoy working for a television company that is up-to-date, modern, and advanced. So advanced that the magazine that they print to tell you about the television programs which are about to come is called Radio Times. I mean, who but the BBC would put the midnight movie on at 11:30? And the black and white minstrels on in color. Even this show is called Show of the Week. We do it once a fortnight. Good company to work for. A very good company to work for. I must tell you, I was in what they call the Playboy Club the other night. And you've never seen such a lecherous lot of old playboys in your life. They have there what they call bunnies. Got big ears, little fluffy tails, and the rest of it to go with it. And I was talking to one of these bunnies in Braille. I said, tell me, how do you get on with this clientele? Because you're very seductively dressed, and they're a very lecherous lot. Don't they want to fondle you and touch you? And she said, if we are seen being touched by a member of the audience, we are automatically fined. Money is taken from our wages. I said, really? How much do you get a week? She said, I have no idea. You know, in the Playboy Club, they have bunny mothers, which is a nun with buck teeth. I was watching a poker game, and there was a drunk up on the, and it was like this. And every hand he gets beaten. If he gets two pairs, somebody gets threes. If he gets threes, somebody gets a run. If he gets a run, somebody gets a flush. If he gets a flush, somebody gets a full house. If he gets a full house, somebody gets fours. Every hand he gets, he's beaten. He leaves the table broke, goes to the cashier, writes out a check for 20 quid. And the cashier says, 4 fives, this is you win. That's a great thing about the drunk. You see, even with the drink, the mind never stops working. You get a fellow sitting on a bus, and opposite him is a rather snobbish type lady, and she looks across, she says, you're drunk. He says, you're fat and ugly. She said, you are drunk. He says, you're fat and ugly. She said, you are drunk. He said, I'll be sober in the morning. The other drunk driving his car at 70 miles an hour, hits a bend, a patch of oil. Right through a wooden fence. Down a slope, turns over 6 times. Hits the bottom and bursts into flames. Policeman runs down, pulls him out of the car, says, you drunk? He said, of course I'm drunk. What do you think, I'm a bloody stunt man? The drunk, he's never lost for the word. Within the church, drinking is not accepted. It's not frowned upon. No particularly like. You got a priest in the pulpit, and he said, today I am going to talk about the devil drink. The evil born of Satan's satanical mind. I have talked to you about drinking and talked to you about drinking, and you've never listened to me. Today, I will show you a practical experiment. I have here a glass of water, a glass of whiskey, and an ordinary old common worm. Now you watch when I put that worm in the water. Pick him out. He's still alive. Now watch. If I put him in the whiskey. Pick him out. He's dead. What is the message behind that? And a fella stands up and he says, if you drink whiskey, you'll never get worms. You get the train going from Dublin to Cork. There's a fellow walking up and down the corridors and he's got a couple of bottles peeking out of the pockets. And he's saying, is there a Catholic priest on the train? Is there a Catholic priest on the train? Is there a Catholic priest on the train? And he goes up and he comes back down. He says, is there a Catholic priest on the train? And the fellow steps up and he said, I'm not a Catholic priest. I am a Methodist minister. And if I can be of any help, I would gladly help you. And he said, oh, no, sir, it's all right. I'm just looking for a corkscrew. I think I'm in trouble now, aren't I? The great thing about drink, actually, a lot of people think about drink, that when you drink, the fellow who really drinks, it creates a nice feeling in him. And we need this today. We need something to kind of relieve us from the pressures of the world. And people think that drunks are nasty. They're not. Drunks can be gentle and kind, because a drink inspires a love for things that don't really mean anything to you. You can fall in love with a tree, tin can, walls. You get a drunk who arrives home and there's his front door and he goes, my son, there. I love you. The key for the fun. Kiki. Kiki. You're hiding. We're gonna open the front door. There's my stairs. Beautiful stairs. Going to walk up the stairs. Walk up the stairs. You coming or you gonna stay there? And there's my bedroom door. And there's my bed. And there's my wife. And there's me. Water. Holy water. Come gin in a moment. People ask me, where does humor come from? As far as I'm concerned, humor comes from being in the right place at the right moment and saying exactly the right thing. Before I sentence you, do you have anything to say?
Yeah. Get your bloody haircut. Part of the Irish folklore is leprechauns, little people. And we believe that if you can catch a leprechaun, and they're very sneaky, if you can catch one, he's got to give you the crock of gold. There's a fellow walking down the lane, and sitting on a fence is a leprechaun, with his back to him. And he runs up and he catches him by the leg and he says, "Gah! I've got you!" give us your crock of gold. And they're very sneaky. They wanted to get the head turned around, and if you blink, they'll disappear. And the leprechaun says, look at that lovely tree up there in the sky. The fella said, I'm not taking my eyes off you. And the leprechaun says, look at that elephant flying. He said, I'm not taking my eyes off you. You've got to give me the crock of gold. And the leprechaun said, I'm not one of them leprechauns. I'm not a crock of gold leprechaun. I am a 3-wish leprechaun. I'll give you 3 wishes. But remember, in these 3 wishes I give you, anything I give you in those 3 wishes, I've got to give twice as much to the man that you hate most in your life, who I happen to know is Tom O'Flaherty in the town. And the fella says, right, I'll have the 3 wishes, and he can have twice as much as I can have. He says, right, what's your first wish? He said, I would like a lovely 12-roomed house. There it is, 12-roomed house. And then right beside it, a 24-roomed house. With O'Flaherty standing up in the balcony saying, God love you, boy. I didn't even think you liked me. God love you for the house. Thank you. And the leprechaun says, what do you want for your second wish? He said, I want 10 of the most beautiful girls in the world. There they are. Next door, 20. And O'Flaherty saying, oh, God love you. 20 of the most beautiful girls in the world for me. And the leprechaun says, what do you want for your third and last wish? And the fellow said, I want me desire for women cut by 50%. As an Irishman, I've been asked many times, do leprechauns exist and do I believe in them? And for the book, they don't exist, but I do believe in them. Magic is all very well in the mind of a child, but what of the adult? If the adult were given just one speck of magic in his life, would his mind be able to accept it?
Hello? What's this? Aladdin's lamp.
What is your wish, showmaster?
Oh, I say. Wizard.
Very well, master.
May I help you, sire? Golly.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, the devil take me.
Certainly.
If you go to a clairvoyant, who do you see sitting around the table? Women. If you go to a fortune teller, who do you see? Women. When a woman picks up a newspaper, she doesn't read the headline, she goes straight to the horoscopes. Women are much more concerned about the future than men. I suppose they have to, they live longer. But if man is not worried about dying, he is certainly worried about living and what the future might have in store for him.
Well, what do you see?
The mist is rising, but the gloom is falling. There is darkness. Oh, but I see 2 things, O Prince. Firstly, a terrible accident will befall you. And secondly, you will be the last of your family line.
You've got a filthy mind, sir. That's the time, it really does make you go, ugh, doesn't it? Very funny to us, but not very funny to him. Strange thing about humor, actually, that we laugh at other people getting hurt. I suppose it comes from a sense of relief of knowing that it's not us that it's happening to. People do. Humor is strange. Get a fellow
talking to a fellow in Ireland, and he said, "Did you go away for your holidays?" He said, "I did." He said, "I did. I went over to the continent with my friend Charlie." He said, "Who's Charlie?" He said, "You remember that fellow I knocked over with the car? Broke all his legs, bits, pieces." He said, "I took him as a kind of, just a kind of feeling. We went over to Paris, went up in the Eiffel Tower." He said, "Did Charlie go with you?" He said, No, Charlie can't walk without his crutches." He said, "Where'd you go then?" He said, "We went down to Italy, went to Pisa, to the Leaning Tower. I went up in the Leaning Tower of Pisa." He said, "Did Charlie go with you?" He said, No, Charlie can't walk without his crutches." He said, "We went to Rome, talked to the Pope." We did. Didn't actually, he talked to us. He talked to Charlie. He said, "What did he say?" He says, "Charlie." He didn't talk, he didn't have an Irish accent, you know. But he says, "Charlie, throw away your left crutch." And Charlie threw it away. He said, "Did he?" "What did he say then?" He said, "Charlie, throw away your right crutch." And Charlie threw it away. He said, "What happened then?" And the Pope, he says to Charlie, he says, "Charlie, walk." And your man said, "Did he walk?" He said, "No, he fell over, he can't walk without his crutches." There's no doubt that humor is painful, and we have got some fairly painful examples coming up. Let's see if you'll prove me right or wrong.
Where's the ladder? On the left. No, my left.
Meanwhile, back in the confessional box, for your penance, I'll give you 10 hour fathers.
10,
9,
8,
7,
6,
5,
4,
3,
2,
1.
0.
Every man, woman, and child has had what we call
an embarrassing experience. I've had many. I'd like to tell you about them, but I'm too embarrassed. I mean, it's all right to be embarrassed in front of 2 or 3 people. But to be embarrassed on television, I mean, is the most embarrassing of all, because millions of people see it. And I had a friend of mine years ago who was linking, what we call linking, a show in which they showed pieces of film. And there was a piece of Elvis Presley film, which was very gentle for Elvis Presley. And what he had to say afterwards was, you might think after seeing that clip of Elvis Presley that he's gone a little quiet. And somebody came to him and said, you've got to be careful how you say that. And he said, what do you mean? He said, well, you could easily say, instead of saying a little quiet, you could say a little queer. And that's a terrible thing to say to anybody on television. Because your mind goes, God, don't let me say that. And he's waiting, and the film clip comes up, shows, and the camera comes on, and he said, you might think, after seeing that clip of Elvis Presley, that he's gone a little quiet. I mean queer. I don't mean queer, I mean quiet! Which is very easy to do. I mean, that fellow over there, you could be embarrassed if I were to tell you how embarrassing you look from here. But I don't wish to embarrass her, so I won't say anything about it. The only thing I know is when I said that, that lady beside you nearly broke her neck. Embarrassment comes in many forms. You don't have to be in an embarrassing situation to be embarrassed. And you can work that out.
Okay, Big Louie. We know you're in there. The place is surrounded. Come out with your hands up. Holmes.
What is it, Watson? You look perturbed.
Well, I am, Holmes, I am. Well, just now I was out buying my Times, and I happened to hear 2 ladies discussing.
Yes, Watson, discussing what?
Well, I find it all so very distasteful, Holmes. I can't bring myself to repeat it.
But you must, Watson. Things, Harvard, are rather like a cancerous disease, eating away at the very soul. As a good Englishman and a loyal subject to Her Majesty the Queen, I am not much in agreement with the doctrine of the Roman Catholic Church. But one thing I do agree with, the confessional. It allows one to unburden oneself, to free oneself of a dangerous mental load. Take my advice, Watson. Unburden yourself of this distasteful gossip. What did these 2 ladies say?
Well, Holmes, they were saying that you and I will have a homosexual relationship.
But we do.
I know, but I don't like people talking about it.
I occasionally enjoy having a little dig. It is said that God, in making woman, gave her beautiful hands, beautiful hair, beautiful shape. He gave her the maternal instinct. He gave her femininity. He gave her tenacity. And then he spoiled it all by giving her a tongue. Women are naturally suspicious creatures. For example, every morning that Eve woke up, she would count Adam's ribs. If a woman will say to you, tell me you love you, tell me you love me, tell me you love you or anybody else, tell me you love me, and you say, darling, I love you, she'll say, why do you say that when you know you don't really mean it? Women have a habit of taking what a man says as literal.
Darling.
Darling.
I love you.
I love you.
Darling,
Yes, darling.
promise me one thing.
Anything, darling.
Promise me you'll never, ever change.
Yes, darling.
I want you just as you are.
Yes, darling.
Always to be the same.
Yes, darling.
I want to remember your dark hair.
Darling. Cynthia, darling.
Your mischievous small boy look.
Yes, my...
Your strong, vibrant voice.
Yes, my dear.
Your lips full of passion, close to my ear. Oh, don't ever change.
No, darling.
I feel safe now, knowing that you will always be the same. And knowing that I create in you a desire as old as mankind. A desire to take me. Oh, take me.
Darling.
Just like a man. Your word means nothing.
A sergeant and a private in the last war were court-martialed for kicking a general. And the chairman of the court said to the sergeant, "Why did you kick the general?" He said, "It was like this, sir." He said, "The general's car drove up, and door open, he stepped out, right at my foot. I'd been trained to kill, react, boom, I kicked him." It's a complete reaction on my part. And the general said, "Well, quite plausible." He said to the private, he said, "Why did you kick him?" He said, "Well, I was standing there beside the sergeant, sir. Saw the car pull up, the door open, the general get out. I saw the sergeant kick the general, and I thought the war was over, so I'll have a go." You might remember that some wars can be phony.
It's a miracle. Saved by me gold pocket watch.
Don't be stupid. You pawned it last weekend, remember?
Oh, yeah. So I did.
I'll be here in a minute, Sergeant.
Yeah, I say, sir, these are fairground rifles, aren't they?
Good God, man, so they are. Never mind. Have to do the best we can.
Here they come, sir.
Nein, mein Kommandant. Hab ich gesagt. Ja, wir sind hier 300 Männer. Und nichts für Essen. Nein.
Excuse, please. How long you gonna be on telephone? Many people wish to use a telephone. The funny thing about doing comedy is you're never quite sure how an audience is going to react to what you're doing. Sometimes you tell a gag and it goes bang, to a great big laugh. Other times you do a gag and you lay an egg. By God, that hurts. I've walked off to the sound of my own feet many times. I occasionally, when I work in nightclubs, I tell a gag, and up to now it has never ever got a laugh, and I'm going to try it on you tonight. See what happens. The gentleman in the bar, there's another gentleman standing beside him, and he said, "You might be interested to know that I am a sadist. I gain pleasure from giving physical pain." And I would say, "Well, rather interesting. I'm a masochist. And I gain pleasure from receiving pain." The sailor said, "Would you like to come home with to my place? I have a rather large bullwhip there." And the masochist said, "I'd love to." Arrive home, he strips off, he stands in the front room naked quivering with anticipation. And the sadist is in the corner with the big bullwhip. And the masochist looks at me and said, "Are you going to whip me?" And the sadist said, "No." You know, people ask me, they say, "Well, what makes me laugh?" I laugh at the unexpected, the sudden twist, from the realistic approach to the completely bizarre.
How long you in for, Mac?
18 years. How long you in for?
3 days. What did you do to get 18 years?
Robbed a bank. What did you do to get 3 days?
I killed a guy.
You killed a guy? I rob a bank, I get 18 years. You kill a guy, you get 3 days? How come?
I hang on Tuesday.
You rang, sir?
Crime, sport, and sex. That's all you get nowadays. Think I go home and watch the telly.
Thank God for that.
120,000 guineas. A beautiful oil painting of Bernardo Strozzi called Il Cappuccino, Miracolo de Santo Zita, early 17th century. Any more? 130,000 guineas. 130,000 guineas. 140. 140, 150. 150,000 guineas. 160. Thank you, sir. 160. 160,000 guineas. Once. Twice. Sold for 160,000 guineas.
What call is it castle that stands hard by?
Tis the castle of Agincourt, my liege.
What call it is brook?
Tis the brook of Agincourt, my liege.
What call it is field?
Tis the field of Agincourt, my liege.
The name of this place, White City Stadium!
You know the main difference between the English and the Irish? The Irish accept death, whereas the English don't. Instead of moaning and groaning and wailing about death in Ireland, we have a party. Whereas the English have coming out parties, the Irish have going in. Call them a wake. They're called wakes. I don't know why, because the fellow's never ever going to come out of it. They lay out in the corner of the room in a suit and all the whiskey is brought in, little Cayley band. God, he's looking well. Lovely suit he's got on. He looked nice in heaven and that. The fellow said he's not going to heaven. He said, "You mean he's going down below?" He's not going there either. He said, "Not going up, not going down. Where the hell is he going?" He's not going anywhere. He's an atheist. I said, "What about that? All dressed up and nowhere to go." We used to have an old expression in Ireland. If you ever got into trouble with anybody and you had to hit somebody and somebody said, "What did you hit that fella for?" A great excuse was, "I wouldn't have touched him, only he pulled the gun on me." It's a great excuse. There's a fella lying dead in a suit. And sitting with him is his eldest son. And a friend arrives and he said, "Let's go down to the pub and have a couple of drinks." I said, "I can't leave the father. He's dead." He said, "I know he's dead." He's been on his own before. Leave him. He said, I can't leave him. He's me father. He said, he's laid out nice and comfortable. Nobody's going to come in and take him away. Come on down. He said, I can't. Can't leave me father. He said, well, if you can't leave him, take him with us. He said, to the bar. He said, yes. He said, he's dead. He said, I know he's dead, but he's got a suit on. The pub will be packed. Nobody'll know the difference. Sit him at a table. We'll order 3 drinks. I'll drink the odd one first time. You'll drink the odd one second time. And I guarantee you, nobody'll know your father's dead. And he says, right. I'm dying for a drink. I'm dying for a drink. Dad, we're going to the pub. Up over the shoulder. They carry him down to the pub and they plunk him in a seat. He's like that for 2 hours, and the others are putting it away like madmen. And one turns to the other, he said, I'm going to the little boy's room. He said, well, I'm going with you. And while they're away, the barman comes over to clean the table. And there's the father sitting. Evening, sir. You all right there? God, you're not looking well. Have you had too much to drink? Boom! The father's on the floor. The son comes back and he said, what have you done to me, father? He said, I wouldn't have touched him, only you pulled a gun on me. Which all goes to prove that death can be very funny as long as you're the person who's not doing the dying.
The last time, 130 guineas. Going, got. Sold to the late John Webster.
He is one of the best performing fleas I've ever had. I don't understand it. He was perfectly all right yesterday. And then this morning I took him out for rehearsal and he just sat there staring into space. He just refuses to work. What is it, Doctor? What's wrong with him?
Nothing serious. Slight migraine. Which has developed into a severe concussion and resulted in his sudden death.
Hang down your head, Colorado, reckon me.
Colorado, rockin' me. It's too long. Doesn't fit. Hang down your head, sagebrush Dangerfield. Hang down.
Sagebrush Dangerfield, that's even worse. It don't fit either.
Who's the fellow we hanged last week?
Oh, you mean Mackenzie Huberschmidt?
Yeah, let's try.
Well, let's try that.
Hang down your head, Mackenzie Huberschmidt. Let me get this song finished. Hi. Hi, Tom. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Hang down your head and cry. Hey, Tom!
Yeah?
You got a minute?
I fear that we are too late. All right, Holmes.
Watson? It's... My God! It's a dart!
Oh, no. Oh.
This is a dart used by the Igano Indians. Dipped into poison made from the red lime tree.
Oh, and usually used by...
One man and one man only. My deadly enemy, Moriarty.
Oh, God, Holmes.
Watson?
Yes?
If the poison from this dart is not sucked from your posterior, within the next 15 seconds, you shall die.
So what's going to happen?
You're going to die.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to come to the end of the show, and tonight I've talked about comedy. And I suppose that most comedy comes from hardship. And as long as man will survive these hardships, comedy will survive. As long as man survives.
God, another human being. But I'm not my own for so long. Well, I've been searching everywhere. Nobody, anywhere. But now I found you, man. Oh, I knew it couldn't be the end of mankind. Well, it's God's will that you and I are going to be the mother and father of a new generation. Well, I've just realized I'm going to be a new Eve, and you're going to be Adam, the father of my children.
Have I got news for you, Ducky?
As long as man survives, comedy will survive. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, good night, and may your God go with you.
A look through 7 days of news. Sue Perkins joins the regulars to mock the week next, and later comedy and suspense in the action thriller Double Take at 12:35.